It'd be like, hey, here's D&D, no dice. I'd be like, what
Fucking
are we
evil
doing?
ass
Or
bitch.
Batman with a pointy chin. Like that square jaw is important on Batman.
It is. The cow won't stay on otherwise. Like, these bits will just be loose. It's just like, yeah. He looks like he's got 3 weird spiky fucking shit at the bottom of him.
He just looks like a bulldog with fucking fat jowls.
Yeah.
Previously on Basement Discourse, my dogs made noises in the background. But
Like
also,
every episode.
yeah, that's true. But hey, you've got a dog that's actually a human that makes noises in the background. So, you know. Anyway, moving on. Previously, we
My
spoke about...
son?
Yeah,
Shit.
it's like a dog, but shits itself more.
Move past.
Nope. So previously I spoke about Overwatch 2 and then you guys spoke about some shit I don't care about. But most importantly, Overwatch 2. Today, however, I'm not going to intro anyone. I'm just going straight to the topic. Because apparently Barlin's very interested. Loading screens, which we should definitely load right in now. Thanks, Brady. Good loading screen.
That was a
Anyway,
solid
I'm gonna
loading
put all
screen.
of them. All of them.
Every loading screen
Every
ever.
single loading screen ever. I
But,
think I would
yeah.
love to actually tally up the amount of time we have all spent sitting in loading screens in our lifespan.
I don't need that
Because
information.
the amount of game time that we've all combined, put together, it would be like a lot of man years. I reckon there'd be at least probably 15 or 20 man
Brady,
years out of
nah.
our combined years, I reckon.
Brady's never had a man year in his life.
Definitely more lately because Jace has got me onto a fan-made Pokemon game, but it runs like a bag of dicks on Mac. So everything works fine. Battles work fine. Moving around works fine. But the moment you enter a new room, that takes I'm going to say about a minute and a half, which doesn't seem like a long time, but there's no screen. It's
That's
just black.
that is a long time.
And
Oh,
you-
there's no
that's
loading
an
screen?
eternity.
That's bullshit.
And then you're in the
Well-
room, and then you do your thing, and then you leave the room. It's another minute and a half. The worst
Oh,
part
wow.
is this is Pokemon, so you're wandering around in a cave, and you freeze taking a step. And I was like, "Oh, did the game break?" And then the encounter started after 45 seconds. I was like, "Oh no, that's how long it takes to load the encounter."
Oh,
So-
yikes.
To clarify, this runs flawlessly on my system. There is no loading times whatsoever. Shit's instantaneous. It's just Brady.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. I
and
think it's
Max.
Brady and Mac in general, but the two combined means that shit's just broke as fuck.
Yeah. That's a perfect recipe for disaster. It's like Brady and alcohol in a D&D table.
Nothing goes wrong with that ever. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's
Yeah,
already raising his Yeah, that's a good example of a bad loading screen then, and probably an unintentional one by the sounds of it.
But going off how that loading screen is supposed to work, there is one game that took a while to think of because I was like, is there even a loading screen for this game? And then I was looking into it and there isn't. And that is Final Fantasy VIII, or by extension 7 as well. They don't have actual loading screens. What they do is they render a small area. So let's say a room. And then as you walk out of the room, it does a slow fade to black and then a slow fade in from black.
Oh,
And
damn.
it does the loading in that.
So it almost seems seamless.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but this is PlayStation 1 era, so it should have taken ages, but because they're only loading in these small areas, every time you go in between, a loading screen or a load time is sort of expected, but they use this transition to get that through, and that's why I couldn't think of if there even were loading screens, and that's because...
That's 100% true. And that's what general, I'm not bringing it back to this deliberately, but that's what general Pokemon works on. You walk in and the old one was the white flash, and then you're in the room.
Yep.
Or the encounter screen was the black. I think
Swirl
it used
thing?
to do a swirl, and then you're
Or
in
it goes down. It had different animations.
a couple different
randomly.
ones, but that's the exact same thing, right? It is loading, but it's kind of fooled you into thinking we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Snap. That's awesome. Well,
Yeah, so I thought that one was pretty good.
I'm trying
That's
to think
really
of any
good
that are
example.
like super balls, like just the most balls out,
Bad
like
or
terrible
good?
ones. Yeah, no, like bad balls, not good balls.
So
I think
the mo-
anything with just a bar gives me the shits because the bar is always like,
Yeah, as Jace has explained, I think in previous episodes. Wow, you just like jammed out at the perfect time just then. Hopefully that works in like the video because you actually like froze on my screen. like your
that might be a
internet
you
loaded
problem,
you.
Actually, I'm pretty sure mine's working really well now. I'm
The
running
rain's
like
here,
60.
so no. We'll see.
I'm running 60 at the moment, boys.
Whoa,
Huge.
It's
jeez,
good.
Louise. Get
Someone
out of
call
town.
Mr. NBN.
Well, as I was going to say for that, Jace has explained it before. Like, you know, loading bars can never be precise because of all of the different size files and all the rest of the other bullshit that they're loading in. So the fact that they even thought that a loading bar was ever a clever fucking idea is like the dumbest thing in the world, or a percentage bar even for that case. It's infuriating. You watch something sitting on 99%, but it'll sit there for like a minute after it's climbed that way, nice and gradual, and then it gets stuck on 99%. There's nothing more infuriating, I think, except for fishing.
No, I agree.
If there was a fishing minigame inside of a loading screen, then that would
End
be
of the
my
year.
all-up
In
hate.
fairness, that is fishing. You do a bunch of shit, you throw it in, and then you're just waiting for it to end.
This is true. Yeah.
Fishing is the loading screen of recreation.
Video
Of
gaming.
sports.
No, just recreation in general. It is the loading screen of it.
I'm going to get that into a t-shirt. That's brilliant.
Fishing is the loading screen of sport.
Although my old man the other day actually came up with a cool idea. So they have a lake or a pond. I don't know which one's like what's the difference, right?
I'm not a
What's the fucking
waterologist.
difference? My
think a
wife said
pond
this the other day.
doesn't
She's
join-
like, "What's a she's like, "Oh no, that's a dam." I'm like, "The fuck? What's the difference between a dam, a pond, and a lake? Is it the size?
no.
Is like a
So,
dam
I
the
need to know.
wallage? I assume that the dam
So-
is the wallage, right? But like, who gives a shit?"
So, I believe a lake has to eventually reach the ocean at some point, or maybe
What?
it's
How does
Maybe
a
it's a
lake
river-
in like
No, it might be
Mittagong,
a
for
riv-
example, be?
it
Rivers-
might be a
rivers
river
meet the
that's
sea.
supposed to reach the sea,
Yeah,
but then a lake
so-
might be a
Okay.
river that never reaches
Is
the
a
sea.
lake just
So-
a larger pond
Yes.
in that case?
A pond
That's
with
it.
friends.
Sort of.
So what
So
do
a
they
lake
measure it?
is
They're
a
like,
natural-
"Nope, sorry, this is
I
not.
know, there's a reason for this. This actually does make sense. A lake is a natural water body formed by a relatively large area that is at a lower level than the surrounding area. So rainwater just...
Right, so it's just dipped in,
So it's basically a giant fucking crater.
and then pond is
So it's basically
I'm
down.
looking.
yeah.
Barrels. Differences between bodies of water.
Who gives a shit?
Oceans.
I'm imagining
This is the new
someone going out
episode.
with
No,
a
I need
tape
to know
measure and being
now.
like, "This is not regulation size pond. This actually is equivalent to a lake." I'm sorry, guys.
I'm
Okay,
just
oceans.
picturing people unfucking subscribing from our
It's
channel.
like, I
watching
don't
this-
care.
I need to know.
The story
People
was
do need to know. They want to know.
the old man has
Oceans.
a lake / pond on his property, and it has nothing in it. So then they just got 2,000 head of fucking like whatever it was and dropped it in there just so they
Tadpoles?
could fish it. No, like
Why wouldn't you get the whole creature, not just the head?
I think it was like trout, and like now there's 2,000 trout in there, so you're guaranteed to catch something. Like,
Right.
yeah, that was the only idea of fishing that I
Well,
liked. 'Cause I
that's
was
like-
well, that's straight up
Right.
guarantee.
Yeah, now you're
Awesome.
just cheating in a loading screen. How fucking lame is your life?
Yeah, that's bad. That's literally fish in a large barrel.
I'll be
Yeah.
all about that.
So,
You fucking would
ocean and sea, no one cares. River is a large flowing body of water that empties into the sea or ocean.
Yeah, but what's the difference between a pond and a
I'm
fucking
there.
lake?
There, hang on. I was doing river first.
Even the dog's
Next-
getting aggravated.
Yeah,
Tell him.
tell him, Barlin.
Next is lake. A lake is a large body of water surrounded on all sides by land. Lakes are larger and deeper than ponds. A pond is surrounded on all sides by land, but is smaller than a lake.
What the fuck?
Many
How do
lakes
they
are
how do they compare
man-made.
those two things? Wait,
Pond
like,
is smaller.
yeah, pond is smaller than any lake
I
ever.
like this. Wait, under that, a lagoon.
Look up the smallest lake.
Billabong is another type as well.
I want to know. I want to know how
a
small a lake
lagoon-
can be before it's called
I
a
don't
pond.
want to know.
Or better yet, we could not fucking talk about this.
It keeps going. What the fuck is a FJORD?
Fjord? It's a fjord.
Is a sea inlet.
Yeah.
Okay, can I
That's
just mute
very
Brady?
obvious. Yeah, I think let's do that.
Yeah, I can mute Brady. Yes!
Ultimate power!
I just
Finally!
wanted to know what it was.
Well, now we
People
know.
wanna know.
They're pretty
Yeah,
much
now
the same
you've made my
thing.
job great.
That's fine. We'll just mute
Well,
you for a while.
That was my little side thing. So
Yeah, so I just thought of good loading screens because, like, in
Yeah.
the sports reference,
Well-
you know what a good sports loading screen is? Driving a
FIFA
golf
ones?
buggy. No, driving a golf buggy around a golf course. That's way better than.
dude, is that a thing?
That should totally be a thing.
That
If
should
it-
100% be a thing. That'd be fucking awesome.
That would be better than playing
It'd
a
be
golf
better
game.
than playing the golf game. They should just
Actually-
make that. They should just make that. Ultimate golf caddy, and you just fuck around.
golf,
Like,
but it's a race
dude.
as well as a score. So
wait,
if
wait,
you,
wait.
oh
I have
yeah.
I have a PGA game somewhere in my Steam list.
man, that's a great idea. So
PGA
on-
Tour 2021. I should try and install that one.
Yeah,
day
yeah, just
if
to
I
see what the
actually
loading
give enough
screens
of a
actually
shit.
are. I bet you it's just a silhouette of a golfer with a fucking loading bar going up the silhouette. I
Yeah.
swear to
it's just
hell
a
that's
golf
all they
club
are.
slowly rendering. Imagine if it was like my next example. It was like the slow model of a golf club.
The Skyrim render, but just like super
That's where I
detailed
was
clubs.
going.
Like,
Look
at those clubs.
How did we
that's a
feel
size
about
9.
the Skyrim loading screens? Just to
Dude,
bring it
I
to our.
fucking love them. I
I
absolutely
am-
love looking at
You
a
spend
3D
a lot
rendered
of time
model.
painting.
Well, that's
minis
true. I
and
do. Yeah,
stuff.
I like seeing models.
I
so,
knew
yeah.
you would like them.
And it would
I
be
wanna hear
similar
Jace's.
for Jace and the Fallout one as well. Fallout 4 was the same, right?
Yeah, correct. So
yeah.
I want to say that I sort of have like middling feelings about it, just because like there's not a whole lot going on. It's not all that different from other RPGs like, say, Dark Souls and shit that just show you information about
Yeah.
an item, except that obviously you get these full 3D models. Now, being a
can
bigger
move them?
Fallout, yeah, so being a bigger Fallout nerd than I am Elder Scrolls, Fallout 4's loading screens were pretty fucking cool as far as I'm concerned, but they are still just object bit of text. So
yeah, they are simple.
I
but...
rate them much higher than your average fucking loading bar or still image with a rotating circle. 100% way better, but I don't think they're like top tier. But I think they should be at a bare minimum the accepted standard.
Yes,
If
I
you want to
agree.
make if you want to make a
Absolutely.
loading screen, that should be your bare fucking minimum.
I think that like it's really cool because they get to showcase things that I feel like sometimes people miss. So like the detail and the fact that you can zoom in on the Skyrim one. I'm not sure about Fallout, but you can zoom in on
You
know
can
the
on
3D
Fallout.
You can spin
render.
it.
You spin it. You can really get a good look at some of these. Like there would have been hours of time spent on the detail of these models for you to just run up to the rat and stab it and run off. But like when you really look at it, it's just insane how much detail is inside of those renders. Like, and they're just
honestly-
such a high quality render as well. It's not balls like because there's loading happening in the background. It's really good. You can speed up the spin if you need to get to the other side of it to just see, because like the back of a shield, or you want to see the front of the shield or something like that. Like, it just everything about it just is interesting. I find
Yeah, definitely. And, like, think of things like the dragons in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Things like death claws in
Yeah, exactly. You
Fallout
don't
4?
want to get close to those fuckers.
that's shit you are not getting like eyeballs deep in. So having that slow moving motion, and like there are actually creators like Zully the Witch who do Dark Souls content where they basically break the game so you can have a good look at models and stuff and see intricate stuff and stuff like in Elden Ring, that grafted scion, you'll probably remember it. Brady, the weird thing with like all arms and shit all hanging out the side of it.
Oh yeah.
When they go up close to the model, you can actually see how the arms are grafted onto the body and what the body's supposed to look like and shit. That's cool as shit. But you would not see that without hacking the game.
Yeah.
Whereas
You were too busy
Skyrim gives you that
trying to heal
opportunity.
yourself.
For
to kill them
sure. I think it pays
for
a really
reasons
good
unknown.
homage to those guys that have done all that work. Like sometimes I can appreciate a really cool looking monster just as much as I can appreciate just seeing like the merchant stall 3D render or something like that, and you just see all the detail of this store. It's like, holy shit, man.
Or like a weapon that you've picked up and you're like, oh yeah, this is generic sword 37. But then you look at it and there's like this intricate curve to the blade, or
that's right.
there might
or
be
cool
runes in the handle.
Or, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I really put it up there as you said. I think it should be like a trademark standard, but I feel like anyone who does it now will probably be like, put in the Skyrim window. But I think it should be something that is done. I think I'd much rather look at a 3D rendered model, which I don't feel like would be that much work in comparison to any loading bar or wheel or anything like that.
No, I agree.
Bullshit.
I think it's far better. The only step above that comes down to your interest and your boredom level and your competitive level, which is where I was going next, which
true.
is the
True that.
interactive loading screen. I'm thinking of mostly the old Dragon Ball games.
Mm-hmm.
So
The pulling of the swords out of the ground one. I remember doing that one.
Goku eating and stacking the bowls. But what pissed me off about those is they had a dumb mechanic, and Dragon Ball games did this in general. I had to wonder if I think they were all done by Bandai. If they had like
just a publisher.
Major stock in like whoever makes PlayStation controllers. Because all those games had a mechanic, and the loading screens did this too, where you had to spin the balls out of the fucking joysticks.
Right.
Like, roughly fucking get into them. And that's how you like sped it up. And it reacted to you going faster, so you were encouraged to like... and that's my GIF.
Yeah.
Yes. Finally, someone else gets a GIF.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Brady said that 30 times for dumb shit that I've done, but he's just never made the GIF, so lol, fuck dickhead.
Yeah, no, your GIF is just like a bunch of outrageous swears slowly piling up next to you.
Well, I don't even swear that much. Can't.
Come up with any band name off the top of your head.
Prostitute Disfigurement.
Yeah. Not a swear.
See?
I guess.
Close enough.
But
okay, anal cunt. How do you like that?
There we go. So, yeah, the interactive screen. So the Dragon Ball is the one that comes to mind because I'm a weeb, but there are quite a few options out there, and a few different IPs that have done this. So I'm sure you've got a few, Jace.
I actually don't. There are
really?
very few games that I've played that have ever had an interactive loading screen. So few, in fact, that I don't even remember any.
Holy shit.
However, while I was doing research for this, because I'm actually a thoroughly researched podcast host,
Seems like it.
there were like a bajillion Japanese games. It seems like it's a big thing in Japan to have interactive loading screens.
Because they're like all their like skills and stuff are so complex, you need to actually learn them in loading screens instead of playing tutorials.
That's because when they're resting, they need to be working.
Wow.
Racial stereotypes. That's my thing,
That's
man.
why they're like, wait, you want me to sit still for 2 minutes and do nothing?
So
Fuck.
apparently Bayonetta gives you the ability to test like combos.
This
and
is
stuff.
the one I was thinking you were going to refer to. Yes.
Yeah,
What?
so I've never played Bayonetta, but I think I should. It sounds like a game I'd like because latex. You're
I
welcome,
wouldn't like it
guys.
very much at all then.
Latex allergy? Yeah.
I am so white sometimes.
cool. Yeah.
Yes.
But don't worry, he's not allergic to mayonnaise, everyone. But Bayonetta's one, and actually, now I think about it, there is actually one that is on my list that I didn't even think of. Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. The running through the void.
You're running through the animus as you
yeah.
load in.
Yeah.
Because that's on my list as one, but I wasn't really thinking of it as interactive. But it is. It totally
It is
So,
interactive
It
for
is,
sure.
but that one pisses me off within the second time.
Yeah. My big problem is that you can't like do anything proper. Like you can't jump and stab someone because there's no people around. And Assassin's
that's
Creed,
what I mean.
everything revolves around interactions with the world. And because it's just a blank slate, all you can do is run, jump, and
I feel
stab
like they
air.
could have put a couple of like faceless dudes in there that you could just kill, like
You can
just
shoot
like
arrows and
respawn
shit.
and whatever.
Like, it's really frustrating. You can't actually do it. It's just like dunk. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put the controller down and wait. Like,
Yeah.
after like the second one, I'm like, I don't care.
literally, like I've played through like all the original series of. Barlin hasn't played it. So I've played through all the original Assassin's Creeds.
I don't know what's going on with your audio right now.
Yeah, he can tell though, so give him a sec.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've played through all the original Assassin's Creeds, like all the pre-Origins or Odyssey or whichever came first.
Pre-Odyssey, Origins.
Yeah. But so I've played through all of those, and every time I get to a load screen, I'm literally like, I'll just hold run and forward and then maybe jump a few times.
Yeah.
I just do it because it's there and available to do.
Every now and then I press the assassin button, so the little like hidden blade will just come out that little tiny bit. It's like
just
like,
to his side. Yeah.
That's
but like that's okay. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
an
alright.
okay choice. It's
Possible.
just a bit empty.
Mm.
But one that I think is kind of interesting because it's not really interactive, but it's a unique way of presenting it. And this is a game that you guys should all know. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
I wrote that down as a question mark because I figured they would have one, but I do not remember it.
It's your fucking missions.
Yeah.
You know, stab 30 hobos, pick up skate logos, and then the load bar's just at the bottom. So it's detailing what you need to do as it loads you
like
into a level.
Slow pan around the thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like like the S is above a quarter pipe, and it's like a slow pan around the S. Then a K.
That's clever.
That's actually
brilliant.
a really good point. But I mean, that is specific to goal.
Yeah, to TH. Like I feel like you'd only
But,
you'd only be able to
nonetheless,
benefit from that. But yeah,
wouldn't work in an open world RPG, but it definitely works.
I mean, that
in this...
said, it would be sick to see, like, you know, in the case of going back to like the Skyrim stuff, it would be kind of cool just to see certain environments or certain areas with the, you know, the NPCs and whatever, or the monsters just doing their thing. Like, you know, when you sneak up on the giants and you just watch them doing their thing.
That's what started
That
to
would be
irritate
cool.
me with Skyrim, is because I did enjoy I don't know how many there is. I'm gonna say there's like 20 or different loading screen models.
I'm going to say there's about
Roughly.
120.
Yeah, there's a
Really?
lot.
Yeah,
There are a
there's
lot.
I feel like
shitload.
They'll show you like
I
a
played
fucking...
so much Skyrim, I can't remember how many of the fucking loading screen
Yeah,
models there
they'll
All blended
fucking
into
like
one.
detail a troll's scrotum in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You
but
know, there's all sorts
I would
of
have
shit.
liked to have seen like, you know, Whiterun with a slow zoom in, or
Yeah.
Like,
High Hooger, if that's how you fucking say that.
Rothgar?
Like,
I don't know.
no, the where the greybeards hang out.
Yeah, I always thought it was Rothgar.
people who
but
play the
who
main
knows?
quest are idiots. So, you know, whatever.
More on that later.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Let's get back to. I had one written down, was Test Drive Unlimited, which I had to look it up because I was like, I could not remember what Atari game I had played for it. I thought it was Driver, and I think I got it mixed up with this game. Both of them, I think, were Atari games, and maybe Driver had it as well, but it was the classic Pong game. That was where I think this whole conversation began with us a few weeks back. Was I was talking about like how you'd play Pong and I'd almost forget that the loading screen had finished because you had to press like A or X or whatever it was to continue. I would just be so intent on trying to beat the fucking computer at Pong. I was like, no, screw you. I'm going to beat you before I get into this screen. Like, so that was kind of cool. And what else did I have written down? Devil May Cry 3. This is one that I just saw pop up when I was like looking up different ones because I'm sure I've got like, there's probably about 10 or 15 that I know of that would have been good, but I just keep forgetting them. So I was trying to look up the ones that yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
you know,
while we're on that subject, Devil May Cry is a game that I've been told by everyone would be one that I would enjoy quite a lot. With it's like, especially 3 it's like hack and slashy. You've got the engine sword. The music apparently would vibe with me. Like, apparently that whole game is something I would love the shit out of.
Yeah.
Help me out there, because I don't believe these other people.
I've played only a touch of it, but I think you probably would enjoy it. It's got that anime-esque sort of a feel to it.
Yeah, I played DMC, which was the like reboot of the franchise that was considered an epic failure, and they bombed on that reboot series, and then I think they're going back to the old ways.
Yeah.
But I have played a bit of Devil May Cry 4, and it's not really my vibe. Those sort of games don't really sit well with me. I don't know why, but that's probably why I haven't touched on a game like Bayonetta. But I do think that you should pick them up. I believe they would probably be up your alley.
They did a remaster of the OGs, and I think DMC5 you'd be able to find for like under $20 now. So, yeah,
I'm
like
pretty sure there's like a
My only
Devil May
concern
Cry
is, like,
collection.
Everyone tried to push me into 3 because I think there's like it's a younger character and he's got like a weird half devil arm or some shit.
I'm pretty
didn't
sure
want
it's
to-
all the same character, Dante.
No idea.
No, one
No,
of them
there's
is
something else.
his like illegitimate kid, and that's the one everyone tried to shove me towards. But I was like, this game looks too edgy for fucking me. Like it's so fucking like
Okay.
it just
note
looked
to Editor
that way.
Brady. Editor
Yeah.
Brady, post a picture of the guy who made Devil May Cry now.
Right.
And that is why he's a very edgy character.
Okay.
Very interesting dude, and the games are very heavily regarded as, you know, pioneers for the like hack and slash genre, or at least modern 3D versions. So it's probably well recommended to check them out at least.
Okay.
And you should be able to get like a collection quite cheap. So I would probably recommend
I'd
that.
get your hands on
Probably
it.
on
So
my,
the DMC3
PS
loading screen was just a loading screen, but the buttons you could press actually smashed the loading screen. So you just see like punches and slashes coming through from like your weapons and stuff. So it was kind of like you were
fun.
beating it up.
One or two
It's something, you know, it's eight. Crash Bandicoot Racing. Apparently you can shift the sounds of his farts. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, you can.
So that was one of the ones I forgot that I'd actually done as a kid, and like so you can shift the pitch of his
Actually,
farts.
there
in
were
the
other
load.
Crash ones. One jumping to like hit the box and see how many times. You could.
Yes, I
There was
remember
a couple
that.
Crash ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one was cool.
So there is 2 that I still had that I think are interesting in weird ways, because they're not interactive like what you guys are talking about, but they do add something unique. And one of them's from Mass Effect 2, which you guys will eventually get to see. But basically, like when you're going through certain missions, let's say you're taking an elevator from the top floor of your ship to the bottom, the loading screen is actually like a wireframe diagram of the ship, and it zooms in on the elevator, and you watch the elevator go down to where you're going.
Wow.
That's cool.
Like-
Yeah, that's cool.
And like when you go to land on a planet and you're taking like your little buggy thing out of the ship, you see the buggy like launch out and its trajectory to the ground and all that before it then goes in and stuff like that. Like
I like that. I like
They
that.
like Sailor Mooned
Yeah.
that shit.
I haven't watched
So, like-
Sailor
I
Moon.
don't recall.
No. So they did this one regular thing that they were able to insert multiple times.
Yeah. So
So reusable sort of cutscenes.
Yeah.
But where a bad example of that comes into play would be Destiny. I'd really dislike watching the ship flying to the
Oh my
planets on
God.
Destiny. I
But
see that
that's-
way
Yeah,
too
it's fair.
fucking much, man.
But that's
It's so
because it
frustrating.
is it always looks the same, and B,
Yeah.
it is so slow.
Yes.
Because the ships just sit there for ages and like,
Yeah, and it's just floating. You're like, when are you going to fly off ship? And then it's like, takes off, and you're like, zip my pants up, stop pissing, quick, run back. Because like you can literally take a
Throw
shit
the
in some
bottle
of
on
the
the floor.
fucking scenes. Yeah.
fuck me, man.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's really cool though. I like the idea.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think
All games could take from that for sure.
yeah, because I think that's the key thing is like you get elements of your game that you can present in a way that's entertaining, so you don't notice that it's loading.
Yes.
And another
I
one
agree. If it's not
that
going to be
did-
interactive, it should be. What's the
Entertaining.
word? Yeah, entertaining or captivating at least. Or
Yeah.
just showcasing something that these people, like hundreds of people, have worked so hard to achieve.
Yeah,
Whether
exactly.
it be the score, like I feel like music is probably not used as much as they could in inside of loading screens as much as they could. You know,
Yeah, I
or
wanted
just
to ask about that because they don't use music often unless it's just a tone. So I thought it might be an IT thing.
No, so it's purely because like music's supposed to be designed as part of atmosphere, right? So a good example is you think about like Skyrim and that. Justin might remember from our Oblivion days when we found out that all the music files were MP3s or WAVs.
Yeah.
And we just modified all the files to whatever we want. But they've got specific music that's designed for battle, ambient, region, blah, blah,
They're
blah.
all different folders too, so you could actually work it out and like put them in there. So I had like Elden, what was their name? Elden.
We had, what was it? It was fucking Elven King?
Elven King, that's the one. Elven King was like the town music and shit. It was just kind of like chill, but also metal. But like my fight scene, I only put one file in there. It was Kill from Cannibal Corpse. And so like you'd be walking down this beautiful beach and then Kill would come on just because there's a crab like, out in yonder.
Yeah, so I was going to say,
like,
was it like
oh
a
shit,
fucking
you're like freaking out because Kill from
crab?
Cannibal Corpse is heavy as fuck. Play it now.
Good work.
You know what I
Thanks,
mean?
Brady.
Yep. There you go.
That's an amazing way to get us fucking blocked.
No, that's fine. Cannibal Corpse are cool.
Yeah, they're fine with it.
Yeah, Metal Blade Records will be cool.
Yeah, we asked them. Yeah.
But yeah, so music is designed to set scenes. So the last thing they want is to put in think of some of the most epic songs you've heard in games like Liberi Fatali in Final Fantasy VIII and stuff like that, or One Winged Angel.
Yeah, so they don't want an epic loading screen.
Yeah, you don't want to be like, oh fuck, I'm about to just
actually
drop on a dragon's nuts.
I can think of one example of music inside of a loading screen, sort of. So this is going back to Toe Jam and Earl on Sega Mega Drive back in the day. The loading screens for that going between different levels on the planet was just Toe Jam or Earl, respectively, whoever you were playing at the time, just grooving out. And the whole backdrop was just this like very 80s, like bright yellow with zigzags on it or something like that. And then if you press one of the buttons, it would do like a noise, like a wiki wiki, or like something else, like this, like this real classic. Cool. And then he would like change his stance sometimes, and then the whole background every time you press the button would also change to like another like, paint from back in like Windows 98 sort of like era, bright colored theme. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's actually cool as.
Yeah.
There is one other loading screen I thought of that is kind of new, kind of relevant, but I think they underutilized it, as weird as this is. And that is Cyberpunk 2077. So one thing they do with their loading screens is there's like a little news report. And so it'll show a scene from Night City, just like a still image. And then it'll have a news report playing. And it's like maybe like 2 minutes of like discussing things that are happening around the world relevant to where you are in the story.
That's pretty cool.
That's
kind
awesome.
of almost a recap.
Not necessarily. Think of it more like Saints Row or GTA events where they're like
on the radio and stuff when they're like, the bridge is down over to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like, there was a shooting in Arasaka Tower last night. 48 billion dead. And just shit like that. So, and then it's like a discussion between the police and the news reporter and stuff like that. And that's really cool. However, there's only about 15 of them or so in a game that I've spent over 100 hours in. Because it's open world, you don't see the loading screens a lot. But if you load up new games and you play over multiple sessions, it is a bit of a sort of experience.
Yeah. It's like when you're playing a character and he only has like 5 catchphrases, and he just keeps saying the same shit. You're like, oh, shut up.
100%.
Just shut up. Yeah, it
Except
does get
girl.
you in a while.
Except for Geralt. It's a grunt or
fuck.
Fuck. Never gets old. Always said at the right time. Speaking of which, we're probably going to have to leave all of you on loading screen until next week.
That was a terrible outro.
They're just going to sit here watching nothing for a whole fucking week.
I thought it was fucking fantastic. Please like and subscribe, guys. Leave us comments. Tell us what you want us to talk about. And I guess we'll see you all in a week.
I hope so. No, we won't. Wait, we sort of will.
We'll see.
Justin's bailing, so...
They'll see us in a week.
I don't know.
We're not live. Like shit.
We are
We'll
next
record
week.
another day.
Nope. I'm going live. It'll just be me sitting in this
That's
Zoom
just you
session.
on your own.
Jesus.
Oh,